What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, 4-division world champion, superstar boxer, Adrien "The Problem" Broner will be making his ring return in January on Showtime. Adrien Broner says he asked for the $10 million. He has given everything he has in his career to Showtime CEO Steven Espinoza and advisor and creator of the PBC Premier Boxing Champions, Al Heyman. He says, I've done everything they asked. I fought champion after champion. He says now it's time for them to give back to me. And now everybody thought that Adrien Broner, was joking when he asked for $10 million to make his ring return after being on a 2-year layoff. Adrien Broner says that he definitely wasn't joking. He says that he did a lot of thinking. He says he give back to the sport of boxing. Nobody cares after the fight is over, win, lose, or draw. He says nobody calls you. Nobody looks for you. He says, so the sport of boxing is lonely. So if I'm going to compete in this and I'm going to give my services, they are going to pay me handsomely for so, right? So he said that the $10 million that he asked for, he will be receiving. He said, I gave Steven Espinoza big fights. I gave Al Heyman and did everything Al Heyman for everybody Al Heyman wanted me to fight. He said win, lose, or draw, and I gave my everything to the sport. He says that when asked about the possibility, because he's going to come down to junior welterweight 140, he says that when asked about the possibility of fighting undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin Adrien Haney, he says that's a fight that he don't mind having, but it's a lose-lose situation for him. He says that Devin Haney needs him. He don't need Devin Haney. He says once I beat Devin Haney, everybody's going to say I did what I was supposed to do. I was the bigger, stronger, faster man, and I don't get no credit for it. He says so that's another fight that they're going to have to pay me a lot of money for because I'm in a lose-lose situation. He says Devin Haney's in a win-win situation, and Devin Haney needs me. I'm the name. I'm the guy that could boast his profile. I could, take his career to another level. So he says that Devin Haney needs me. Should he beat me, his career go to another level. So he needs me, right? He says, so, I don't need Devin Haney. I'm already established. This is the second half of my career, and I'm focusing on the financial part of my career, the business part of my career. I'm already accomplished. I already accomplished 4 divisions and being a world champion. So now I'm going to focus on the business part of the sport of boxing. So when it comes to guys like Devin Haney, they're going to have to pay me big because I'm in a lose-lose situation. And nobody's going to call me should I lose. He stated that, even when it came down to Danny Garcia, he said that's a close friend of mine. 2-division world champion, former junior welterweight, unified world champion, and former WBC welterweight world champion. Danny Garcia lost to Keith one-time Thurman. That was the first loss in his career. He says that Danny Garcia called me because he was down, right? He says he couldn't deal with it. He was struggling to deal with the loss. He says, and when he saw me, he always see me with a smile on my face. He always see me, happy-go-lucky. He said, because I learned to deal with myself after my first loss to Marcos Maidana, and that's for another video. He says, but I learned how to deal with it because when you win, people call you because they want something. But when you lose, you don't hear nothing from them. He says, so Danny Garcia struggled to deal with his first loss to Keith Thurman. And he called me. He reached out to me. And I'm the one that gave him the advice. He said, there's no specialist. There's nothing set up to help you. The sport of boxing is lonely. So now I'm going to make the sport of boxing pay. They're going to pay me. I was already getting paid, but now they're going to pay like they weigh, right? So he said, look at the situation with Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia had nobody, but his immediate family. He says, so, I'm going to take whatever I can out of the sport of boxing. I'm not even that excited about the sport of boxing. Then he said, but when I do come back in January, that's the announced date, he'll be back in January. He says that I want to fight Ivan Redkach because he's been calling for it. I've been on a 2-year layoff. It's the perfect fight for me, and I want to knock him out. He says he's been asking for it, so I want to give it to him. So it looked like January will be the date for Ivan Redkach. He said that's who I'm looking to fight. That's who's going to be my opponent in January, and I want to knock him out. As far as Devin Haney, He said that'll be after Ivan Redkach. If not, he may be facing former junior welterweight world champion Regis Prograis, who just signed to the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions. He's scheduled to have a fight. He's going to have a welcoming fight. A fight that he is much in his favor to win. Just to introduce him to the PBC. Then it looks like they're looking to build a fight between Regis Prograis and Adrien Broner in the future. So that could possibly be next, maybe around May, June time, right? But both of them have to get past their respective and upcoming opponents, and nothing is given in the sport of boxing, so you never know. I would love to see, we hear Devin Haney says he doesn't have much time at 135. He's looking to get some of the big fights at 135, then he's going up to 140. That obviously would be the division date on Adrien Broner's in. So I would love to see that showdown. Stylistically, that is a great fight. Yes, Adrien Broner will bolster Devin Haney's career. He will uplift his career. He will take his career to another level. So that's a great fight for Devin Haney and his career. So let's see how this all plays out. Stylistically, I think the movement, the activity of Devin Haney will give Adrien Broner problems. As Adrien Broner says now, he's smarter in the ring, so he picks and chooses his punches. His inactivity is what allows him to lose these fights. Adrien Broner, if he just let his hands go, he wins most of the fights that he lost. Point blank and period. Because he is talented. Like he said, I have all the talent in the world. I just pick and choose how I fight when I fight. And that's the problem. That's the reason why he comes up short in these fights. And I think part of the fact that Adrien Broner is satisfied with his accomplishments is the reason why he's not, in a rush, or he's not pressed to win these fights. So let's see how this all plays out. But as far as Devin Haney, he said that I'm in a lose-lose situation. They're going to pay me heavily for Devin Haney. And I'm bigger, stronger, and faster than Devin Haney. Obviously, Devin Haney begs to differ. He believes he's the stronger, faster guy. Adrien Broner obviously is the bigger guy because he's naturally been fighting at bigger weights. So Adrien Broner is still young. He's only 31 years old. That would be a massive fight for Devin Haney and Adrien Broner. So let's see how this all plays out. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know who would win, Adrien Broner, Devin the Dream Haney. I will have to lean towards Devin Haney. But let's see how this all plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like your shitty videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.